$100 million. $100 million. It is ridiculous the amount of money that are going into these video games. I mean, let's start this up. Here we go. Look. This is a Smash Brothers type of game. The multiverse is not some ultra realistic game. Where did $200 million go? So I'm going to read this from the article that I read. Warner Brothers Games reported a combination deficit of nearly $200 million in November, with the multiverse underperformance costing the studio upwards of $100 million. The game is set to shut down in May. Come on, man. You spent $200 million. You have a deficit of $100 million. I just don't understand how these companies are spending so much money on these games. Like, how many teams did they have working on this thing? Like, it doesn't make any sense that it's costing this much money to make these games. This is like a Smash Brothers style game. It's cartoony. It is a little 3D, right? But it's how is that a $200 million budget for this? Why? Where did the money go? I mean, just looking at this was the launch trailer we're watching, by the way. Like, just looking at that, you know? I mean, the game is fun. Don't get me wrong. I played MultiVersus. My son loves the game. You got a great character base for this. Warner Brothers, you've got all these great characters in your game. How is there a miscalculation on the budget? I don't understand. You know, and you got to assume that the recent layoffs of these companies came after a shutdown of a game. So can we assume that there's going to be layoffs after this now? So come May, you're going to see like articles about layoffs from the Warner Brothers. It's from their gaming division. Who else worked on this game? Somebody else worked on this game, right? Let's rewind this again. Who else worked on this game? Is it in the article? Maybe I'm missing it. I know it's another studio. It's not just Warner Brothers gaming studio, right? Nevertheless, we can assume there's going to be layoffs. And we wonder why companies like Microsoft are starting to spread out their first-party titles to other game systems. It's because you're spending $200 million plus on games. The budget, what? You're spending all this money on a game that probably would have been fine if you had like one studio working on it, you know, not such a big, however many teams, who knows how many people they had working on this. How does it cost that much to create a Smash Brothers style game? I don't know. I really don't. I just feel like it's some kind of mismanagement going on with these studios, with these companies. I mean, you're a multi-million-dollar company. You release a free-to-play game that cost you $200 million to make. This isn't a Fortnite. This isn't a battle royale. This is a fighting Smash Brothers style game. Am I the only one that's seen a problem with this? I feel like there's some mismanagement of money going on. And this is a free-to-play game, so this pretty much reaches every platform. You can play this anywhere. I mean, your budget was too high. The budget was way too high for this game, as it is for a lot of titles that are coming out. When they're expecting to basically sell 200 million copies, I guess. I don't know what you're trying to sell. Who knows how much? You got to make your money back plus some, right? It's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, y'all. The cost of the games today. If this is what the budgets are, you got to wonder what some of these new AAA titles coming out, what they cost to make. If they spent $200 million on this game, it's just madness. It's madness, y'all.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about how Warner Brothers spent $200 million in a $100 million deficit.
Really? You don't think it's a conspiracy behind that?
Well, they're shutting down in May for the second time. So I can see a future where, all games are on all platforms. I'm thinking PlayStation's going to jump in at some point, because their titles are very realistic looking. So they got to have massive teams working on them games, like God of War Ragnarok. I mean, it was beautiful, but you got to imagine, to make that type of game, they must have spent way more. If they spent $200 million on this game to make God of War, they had to spend like probably upwards $300 million or something. Who knows, man? So I can see a future where all games are everywhere, but they got to make their money back, and they got to find a way to lower the budget of these games. They've got to. They're putting people out of work. Every time they shut down a game, it doesn't really hurt the company, right? Because Warner Brothers still going to be Warner Brothers. But all those devs that worked on this game, they get laid off. They out of their job until they find another job. And I'm sure they do. They bounce from job to job. I'm sure that's something they've gotten used to by now, because we're seeing this way too often, where games are shutting down and folks are getting laid off. What I would like to know from you is, what do you think about this? Hit me up in the comments, y'all. And don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, and I'm bringing the content this year, y'all. So stay tuned.